Friends, imagine you only have 10% of the time and resources you originally planned for launching your product. What would you do first? Most people would say, well, I'll go after new opportunities, modernize the product, or launch a new one. But do you know what American entrepreneurs and experts do? They start by solving one specific problem. And it is this, not the number of ideas, that makes their businesses profitable and sustainable. Today in this video, I want to explain how this principle works and how it helped me launch my own projects. My name is Maria Grineva. I've been in marketing for 12 years. I received an American talent visa as a marketer, and in fact, I work in the American market. On my channel, I share tips and tricks from American marketing that you can use both in your local market and, of course, in the American market. So if you're an expert or an entrepreneur, subscribe to my channel, hit the like button, and let's get started. So friends, today I want to discuss with you a principle that is considered fundamental for any entrepreneur or expert in America. And here's the thing, it's so simple that people often overlook it. I think that's a mistake because most businesses drown in a flood of ideas and opportunities. We need to launch a new product. Let's open another line of business. Oh, we've been offered such a cool collaboration. But if you look at the statistics, it's those who do the opposite that grow and survive. They solve problems first and only then chase after new opportunities. Why is that, you might ask? Because resources, time, money, and attention are always limited. And if you spread yourself too thin, you lose focus. In America, this is called the problem-first approach, meaning you start with the problem. In the States, this approach grew out of two environments, consulting and startup culture. In consulting, for example, at McKinsey, everything starts with defining the problem. They never start a project with the solution. First, they ask, what is the root cause? Similarly, in startups, there is a culture of hypotheses and testing. The entrepreneur puts forward a hypothesis, tests it using minimal resources, and draws conclusions. This is similar to the scientific method, where we first formulate a hypothesis, conduct an experiment, analyze, and then draw a conclusion. Let's break this down in more detail and focus on this structure. Step 1 is to identify the problem or goal. Not in abstract terms, but specifically. Our sales are bad is too vague. We are losing 15% of customers at the payment stage. Now that's a clear point of focus. In America, they use customer journey maps and funnels for this, visually marking exactly where people drop off. Step 2 is to formulate solution hypotheses. What do you propose to do to eliminate this problem? For example, simplify the payment form and add Apple Pay. An important point is that the hypothesis must be testable, not just abstract. Step 3 is to execute this plan without endless meetings. In America, they like the expression, done is better than perfect. Implement it, test it, even if it's in a rough form. The next step is to evaluate the result. If it worked, great, let's scale it up. If it didn't work, even better. Now we know this path doesn't work, so we try another one. Let's break it down with some examples. For example, a startup in San Francisco spent 6 months working on new features, ignoring the main bug. The app would crash during payment. When they focused on the bug and narrowed the bottleneck, they managed to win back 30% of their users in just a month. This is the power of the problem-first approach. In other words, first eliminate what's holding you back, and only then improve everything else. When you launch your first product, you'll be tempted to do everything at once, a website, a blog, YouTube, and Instagram. But guys, it's worth focusing on a single problem. How do you consistently get 10 to 15 leads a week? Solve this issue with a funnel and only then add everything else. This will get you results much faster. In America, it's believed that entrepreneurs who focus on solving a specific market pain build more sustainable companies. Their motivation is stronger, their endurance is greater, and opportunities will come to them anyway because opportunities are always out there. Don't chase after every idea. First, solve a real problem and work through the cycle. Define hypotheses, implement, test. Don't be afraid of making mistakes. In America, mistakes are seen as experience. Entrepreneurship and expertise are always about choosing where to direct your limited resources. And believe me, friends, the right choice is to focus on what is truly holding back your growth. Remember, problems are not enemies. They are beacons showing you where to direct your energy. Thank you for your attention. Leave your comments and subscribe to my channel. This was Maria Grineva. See you soon. Bye-bye.